Greetings and God bless. I am watching a video. It's on the platform RU and then MBLE, and it's on the channel called Off-Grid Desert Farming with Paul and Adrienne, and the video is titled "You Will Be Turned into a Human Robot and Plugged in to the Artificial Matrix." And this came out August of this year, and this is the first time I've seen it as of November 12th, 2021. It's only had about 17,000 views, a little bit over that. And I want to play a portion of this. It's my belief that the pandemic to the globalists are free-thinking human souls that and if you've been in the progressive liberal movement, the culture there, and I speak from personal experience of 20 some years, is humans are considered a cancer on the planet. That is the narrative. So of course, progressive liberals are going to be like, yeah, humans are a cancer on the planet. Of course, I'm going to have children, and I want my children to have children, so I have grandchildren. So it's this weird psychotic thing. So people in China shouldn't have children. People in Africa shouldn't have children. People in Latin America shouldn't have children. Poor people in America shouldn't have children. But these hypocrites, which is really what progressive liberals definitely embody that. And I must admit, a lot of Christians embody hypocrisy as well, because humans are hypocritical. But back to my point is, so there's a political group that thinks humans are a cancer on the planet, and it's like, it's the other. That's the another thing about the progressive liberal is they have totally bought into this. I think it's a dichotomy or polarization that anybody that's not them is the other. And I went to a progressive liberal college, and there was a lot of talk about the other, and a lot of time was spent on how the mainstream demonizes anybody who's not mainstream. And the irony is, now the progressive liberal is mainstream. Now the trans agenda is mainstream. Now the gay agenda is mainstream. And what do these mainstream people do, even though they're gay or transgender, is they demonize anybody who's not them. So it seems like it's just some really bad human trait. And, regardless of who it is, if it's a conservative or if it's a progressive liberal. But so now the progressive liberal agenda is in the mainstream, and the progressive liberal mindset is that humans are a cancer on the planet. And unfortunately, the globalists are informing this agenda, and the globalists consider souls, a cancer on the planet. And that's what they're trying to eradicate, in my opinion. So I'm just going to play some of Bill Gates. So I'm at the 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 25 seconds mark, and hopefully the audio will pick up.
That will develop new vaccines quickly, in large part due to this new mRNA platform. mRNA will become faster to develop, easier to store, and lower cost. That's a huge breakthrough. To stop future pandemics quickly, we need to be able to spot disease outbreaks as soon as they happen.
So to stop pandemics quickly, I interpret that as to stop souls quickly, to stop free souls quickly. And he has these dolls that he's placing on a checkerboard, kind of a chessboard thing. And, he's like, and so we need to have this nanotechnology infrastructure set so we can stop the pandemic, stop the free independent humans quickly. So what is it? He has these pictures of these dolls of nurses and doctors, but that's not who Gates wants to send out. He wants to send out strike teams to kill people because that he is not allowed, I believe, in India, because of how many children he disabled with the polio injection. And it's like, what, he has money to teach people how to farm or whatever, but instead all he wants to do is inject people. He could if he wanted to help people, he could send money to help people to eat. But no, like, the vaccine for starvation is called food, but that's not what he wants to do. He wants to do an injection. Why? And why are people having a reaction? So let's continue with this.
Where in the world, and that requires a global alert system.
So he wants a global alert system. Now this is somebody who is the figurehead for Microsoft, a software known for its problems, viruses, and it hijacks your desktop laptop when it wants to do an update. That's what happened with the last rollout. It was doing like this hijacking. I can't remember all the details, but anyway, so this guy whose system has viruses and lots of problems, he wants to have a global alert system connected with injections. Now, this global alert system, I think, is what would be used against anybody free, perfect in pedigree, ungenetically modified. This global alert system is to stop the ungenetically modified, the ungraphene oxided, in my opinion.
If there turns out to be some new infectious pathogen.
So a new infectious pathogen. So, which is a new free human, a new living soul, a new born again believer, actually, because these people are Luciferians. So that's what they're trying to crush. They're trying to stop anybody from seeing the truth, finding the truth, realizing that we're in a supernatural, paranormal situation, realm, battle, and so they want to stamp out anybody finding Lord Jesus Christ.
Then we need a group of infectious disease responders.
So infectious diseases responders. Now, in my experience with chronic Lyme, infectious diseases, folks do not understand infectious disease beyond, I don't even know what. I don't know. They barely have a grasp of things. And it's been my experience that people with chronic Lyme or co-infections know more than doctors, and they definitely have more thoughts and ideas and help to offer than conventionally trained infectious diseases, like doctors. And what would these infectious diseases responders be? I think these would be just some sort of anybody who's willing to work $12 an hour or whatever, $20 an hour, to maybe take people out. I mean, when Ebola was going around, I was in Montana like a couple of years after the Ebola hype, and they kept on asking, everywhere, if I went to a doctor's appointment, have you been to Africa? Have you not? Are you sure you haven't been to Africa? I'm like, that's not everybody's top 10 places to go when you're in Montana, like that, it's just not a bridge of travel kind of a thing. And it's hard enough trying to get out of Montana by plane as it is, much less trying to get to Africa. Years later, I was at a phlebotomist appointment, and they said that they had quarantined people, and basically that nobody really had Ebola. And, I think that she probably broke some of a non-disclosure agreement that, the Ebola thing was kind of a hype, and probably money was made. and liberties were trampled, because I doubt, when people were, they just went to get something else, get some other test, but then if they tested positive and then were quarantined, I don't know. I mean, if it was real, of course, something has to be done. But from what we've observed this past couple of years worldwide of people basically medically kidnapped, I just don't know about the medical. I know the medical industry is not to be trusted. So, anyways, these infectious diseases responders that Gates is talking about, these are not. These are the opposite. So these are probably killers. To kill the believers, the new believers, or the people that are sharing the gospel, I would say. And the thing is, this is happening. This is happening in the Middle East, where Christians are executed after America withdrew from Afghanistan. It's regular news in Christian circles to hear that Christians are being executed, women are being violated, children. And we know this is happening in China, that Christians are executed. So that people are killed for believing in Jesus Christ, Lord Jesus Christ. That's happening. It's 2021, November 2021. People are being killed for believing in Jesus. Okay, and I'm sure there's a lot of progressive liberals here in the United States that are happy that people who believe in Jesus are killed. I would say there are some of my friends who are happy that is the case. I have some friends who wish that I was dead because I don't want to wear a mask. So this is the reality we're in, and it's a sick, twisted, ridiculous reality. But I will continue with this video.
Bring into action. Think of these as like pandemic firefighters. They're going to do.
So pandemic firefighters, what I would call that, or what I would equivocate that is, like a military, like some type of how to control free thinkers, non-genetically modified people who are resisting the genetic modification, people who are resisting the mark. So it's like I can't think of the word, martial law kind of a thing. Martial law for those against the mark of the beast.
Their logistics, use their ability to build up capacity quickly. They're going to go wherever that problem is. Stopping the next pandemic will require a big.
So stopping the next pandemic really means to me is stopping the resistance to the mark of the beast. That's what this whole this video Gates has. It's Gates notes. I think it's under. So it's basically how to defeat the resistance to the mark of the beast. What he's trying to talk about is how to defeat the resistance to the genetic modification with graphene, because that's what this injection is. The injection, and this includes the flu shot, which also has genetic modification or graphene oxide. So the flu shot apparently has graphene oxide in it. So what the globalists want to do is squash the resistance to genetic modification with graphene oxide.
Investment. But I think of this as the best insurance policy the world could buy.
So he's calling this medical emergency system that he's calling for the pandemic the best insurance system the world could buy. So this is some sort of sales pitch to globalists, I would think. And so what he wants to do, or what he's suggesting, what I think he's suggesting is they need insurance to make sure to get rid of the pests, the pandemic of resistors. So they consider anybody resisting the genetic modification with graphene a pandemic. So anybody who wants to be perfect in pedigree, free of the mark of the beast, is a pandemic to the globalists. And so he wants to set up something that can be deployed where those resisting the mark of the beast, those resisting genetic modification with graphene oxide, where they can be probably eliminated. That's because he regards that as disease, that anybody who's free, who's not genetically modified, especially those who refuse the mark of the beast and are believers in Lord Jesus Christ, that's definitely what he thinks is a pandemic, is a disease, is dangerous.
You can read more about this in our annual letter.
So this is in the annual letter.
A global alert system. If there turns out to be some new infectious pathogen, then we need a group of infectious disease responders to spring into action. Think of these as like pandemic firefighters. They're going to use their logistics.
Okay, so that is basically, I think I've beat a dead horse there, but I just wanted to share my thoughts, and we need to we need to pray. We fight not flesh and blood, but principalities. And this is a principality he's describing. He's describing a worldwide system to deal with unruly humans who are not falling into line to get their genetic modification with graphene and the mark of the beast. So, God bless.